in our trend. It's a different environment. Gil is hot.
We
got
all
fans.
are hot.
We got fans going.
The reason why we are so hot. Hey everybody, welcome to the Rich Relationships Refuge hot Friday night live. This is no joke. We are making moves, as the title Renee has put it. We are making moves because it's hot for one, but the reason why it's hot because we are now back in San Antonio, Texas.
Cheers, claps.
The reason why we were back, it started a couple months ago, actually, a few months ago, that this whole move, and this is a process in the work. And when we say it's in the work, it is definitely in the work because it's a new job opportunity for me that I decided to take advantage of, and therefore that requires big changes, not just on me, but on the whole Beavers clan, as we would like to say, the whole little tribe, and that includes y'all.
Yay!
Because we're no longer going to be in Alabama. We are going to be Texans.
Yes, we are. We were always Texans.
Yes, this is the third time we've been here. So we're
fourth.
Okay, the fourth time we've been here. So this is the actual. Hopefully, I won't say the end of the road, but we will see. Right now, we're saying yes, it is.
Yes.
But guess what, y'all? As y'all can tell, like Renee was saying at the very beginning, we are in the RV.
Yes,
we're in Richie because this is our house for the next.
We've actually been in it
it's always
together.
Been our house.
Yeah, we've actually been in it together for the past
7 days.
7 days, and we'll be in it together like full time for the next 2 weeks. And so this is our first time staying in Richie this long together. And I can say that if you want to see how close you really are, get into a small space and it will really test it. And
because this is actually 120 square feet,
which is smaller than a tiny house.
Some of y'all got closets that are that big.
Yes.
So imagine doing everything in your closet. You're sleeping, you're eating, you're showering, you're changing, you're living, you're cooking, everything all in 120
ladies,
square feet.
imagine having to get all of your shoes into 120 square feet. I know some of y'all can't do that.
Well, there's some tricks to it, and we may be able to share them with you guys. But this is just a Friday night because we made a commitment to do Friday night lives regardless of where we're at. So this is the one that we have decided that we're still going to do.
Yes, we are.
Because we have been running, trying to find new places to live. We've been checking out the area again because we've been gone for a while, 8.5 years actually.
Yes.
And so once we actually made it back here, y'all, change happens. And that's a good thing. That's one of the reasons why we decided to come back here. But the change happened and the place is totally new to us. So we're calling this San Antonio 2.0 for us because we're actually on the new side of town. We're on the west side of San Antonio now, where we used to be on the north side, which is really, really different when you look at the square footage. If you've ever been here, it's a lot different, lot more different. Can you say a lot more?
You can say whatever.
It's more different than it's been when we were here the last time.
Yes.
So that's why we are actually here. We've been kind of hinting at some of the things about making moves and making changes, and this is the major change that we're actually doing. So we just wanted to come on still and share.
We want to back brief you on how, because we were talking about how busy our last week was, and it was because we basically decided, well, we knew we've always wanted to live tiny. That has been our dream. If you guys have watched us, you watch any of our old videos, living tiny has been our dream.
A goal.
For probably about
over
10 years. About 10 years. And so it seems like every time we that's our pursuit, is what we want to do. Because, you know, we've had big houses, we've had small houses, we've had new houses, we've had built homes,
rehabs.
We've done, in this last house we did a rehab. If you guys know, we were on HGTV, and they didn't renovate our home, we renovated it. And so we've kind of run the gamut. And one of the things that we can say we have learned, and we both agree, is that life is more about experiences and relationships and not just stuff. And so, and I guess sometimes you have to go through that to know it. But I know for us, we love to travel. We love to help and be a blessing to people. We love serving all of you. And so anything we can do that is going to better help us to do that, we're willing to let go of it. So we had an estate sale and we sold everything. And that was a whole
Well, you got to preface when you say everything, what we're actually physically talking about.
Well, we still got
clothes, y'all.
We sold our big furniture. Gil still has all of his tools. We sold all the really, really big furniture and all the things that we knew. For us, it was just easier for us to just buy the stuff when we got where we were going to be versus traveling with it. Because we have moved across country lots of times before. And so we decided that if you guys have moved across country before, put that in the chat. We have moved across country probably, oh my goodness. This is move number what?
This is move number 13. So let's just say it's been at least 5 times. You know.
And I know a lot of people are thinking, oh my gosh, I could never do that. I've lived in the same place all of my life. I've grown up in the same place. That's not been our experience. And I think that's part of the reason why moving for us is not as traumatic as it is for a lot of people. And I think a lot of it is that you realize how attached or unattached you are to your things. If you have things that you think you're like, oh, I just can't live without that, keep living. And I remember Gil's mom saying when we were younger, she was like, oh, you'll get to the point that you shopping won't matter to you. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's like, how could she say that? But the more you live life, if you could learn from the experience of other people without having to go through it, it saves you a lot of time, saves you a lot of money, saves you a lot of effort. So really try, we want to teach and we want to model that life is about relationships and it's about experiences. And what better way to do that than to not live your life chasing the quote-unquote American dream.
You know, one thing that we wanted to say, if the air conditioner is on in here and you can hear, we apologize for that, but it's been
too hot.
It's been over 100. It's just like most places. It's been really, really hot, but it's over 100 plus degrees here every day for the next probably 2 weeks. But that's neither here nor there. We're just letting you know. If you hear the noise, we apologize for that. We're trying to talk a little bit louder so to drown it out. And we're gonna put some nice music over this, so it's we'll try. Yes. But one thing that we wanted to really talk about tonight when we talk about making changes is sometimes the kind of changes that you make can cause stress in your relationships.
Yes.
And it all started a couple weeks ago because you're going to have differences when you make major moves and major changes in your relationship. Just like this one is for us. This is real. When we say this is real, because we have had some conflicts, we've had some disagreements, and we probably will have more during this move.
Yes, we will.
Just as we're house hunting and as we're making changes, and then when you throw in some, I'll call them wild cards.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call them wild cards because wild cards are things that you had no control over and that happen that does affect the changes and the choices that you're making.
Yes.
So we've had a couple wild cards that have happened during this trip, and we may share them later on, but we're still working through some of them. But they haven't been things that are going to destroy the relationship if you decide to talk about it, talk about how you really feel, just the basic things that we have said before. You got to be hot, not literally physically because of the temperature, but especially when you're going through trying times
which
and
is
changes.
Honest, open, and transparent. You got to be hot.
Yeah, so when you are being hot about how you're feeling, what you're thinking, what you're going through, it gives your partner the time to process what's going on and then lend aid to help you lift some of the burden and some of the load that you may be experiencing, which is what you have to do. That's the luxury and the benefit of having a life partner in a marriage that is just built on a solid foundation, is that you can rely on each other when trying times come.
And I think a part of it is understanding that a healthy marriage is not the absence of conflict. A healthy marriage does not mean you're going to always agree. It does not mean you're going to see eye to eye. A healthy marriage is that you give the other person the freedom to be who they are, and you can leverage it to your benefit. Because Gil and I always say, I am now, he is later. I am an extrovert, he is an introvert. I am a good talker, he is a good listener. In so many cases, you're going to see that your being different is going to be a benefit if you see it as a benefit and not as a problem. Because it's easier to look at with the other person where the other person not like you and to get upset about it. And so you just have to be really intentional about realizing we're working together. This is for us. And sometimes, you know, and then you add the fact that it's 107 degrees, you know, that all of those things are, I think it's important that we share those things, because so many times you see the end result, but you don't know the whole process that you have to go through. You know, in order to be able to make a move like this, you have to organize your thoughts, and you have to organize your goals, you have to organize your dreams, you have to organize and prioritize. We don't believe in balance, we believe in prioritizing. So you're going to have to prioritize, okay, what's the most important thing? What should we be doing right now? What should we, you know, like for me, I wanted to do the estate sale earlier, and Gil was like, no, we should wait. And I'm so glad we did, because had we did it when I wanted to, it would have been really stressful, because it would have been too many moving parts going on. So you leverage the way your spouse is. Let them, like Gil doesn't like a whole bunch of parts moving at one time, and I'm okay with it, but I'm grateful for him slowing me down and saying, hey, you know what, let's not do it that way. And I could have fought him, and it could have been an argument, but I just realized that there's two of us. And one thing I can say, we realize two is better than one, because he's going to see things that I don't see, and I'm going to see things that he doesn't see.
And there is going to come a time during like this whole change and this whole move that's going to require you to compromise. Mm-hmm. And there have been a couple compromises that we've had to make on some of the decisions that we've done, like Renee just talked about with the estate sale and selling some of the items, and even some of the things that you may want to get rid of because you really don't know all of the answers to every question that is going to happen, because some of the things haven't happened yet.
Right.
But you're trying to plan. I try to think down the road, not in so far down the road that I can actually make the best decision and the best choice, not just for me. I'm going to factor in all of the other things and the other elements, the other people. Your decisions do not just affect you.
Right.
Don't ever think you make a choice and a decision and only you are going to be the recipient of the result. Every decision, every choice that you make is going to affect someone else. Yeah. I think about the job that I left. I loved the team that I worked with. I loved the place that I worked with. But I also realized that there was time for change for me, because I have become stagnant. Stagnant not because of the environment, but stagnant in myself internally. We talk about the self-assessment, that when you don't do those things, you cannot be honest with yourself, and then you're going to compromise, and then next thing you know, you compromise to the point to where, let's just say I stayed at the job that I left. I was not frustrated, but I was bored, but because not because of the work, but because I needed more challenge. And it's not that they wouldn't give me more challenges, but it was because it was time for me I felt to do something new. And at this latter stage in my career, sometimes you would say, I'm just going to ride this thing out, and I'm just going to cruise and finish it up and ride off into the sunset. That's not me.
We're not those people. We are the people who start YouTube at 55. So I pray that we inspire someone that you're never too old. It's never too late. You can never be too young or too old, but you can be too hurt. And so a part of the reason why we talk about it, we share with you all the things we're going through, is because we learn from other people. And if you only see us showing you us traveling and having fun in San Antonio, and we don't show you the process that we went through and all the difficulties we've experienced, we're not giving you the full story. And that's one of the things we want to do, is we want to be very transparent with you and share with you the parts of our life that we feel would benefit you and that we're comfortable sharing.
Because right now, on the real side, we still have to find another place to live.
Yes, we do.
We still have a house up for sale. We still have to either buy a new house or make decisions about how long we're going to stay in Richie and where we're going to go. Because when you move into a bigger city, you have a lot more opportunities which is good, but you also have a lot more opportunities to add a little bit more frustration, because you have to make a long-term decision, just like where you're going to live. What city are you going to live in inside of this property or this San Antonio area?
Right.
You know, every place has multiple cities inside of the main city, but there are a lot. Yeah. And do you want to live rural? Do you want to live in a city? Do you want to live in an apartment? Do you want to live in an RV park? There's just a lot of choices and a lot of decisions that we have to make. and that we're making as we're doing this taping or
Yeah.
this actual live session, that we're trying to make the best decision possible. And that's what it leads to some of the frustration that we both feel, and some of the uncertainty, because I like to know what's going to happen, step 1, step 2, step 3, as best I can. And that's where my frustration comes, when I have to trust God to lay it all out, and to trust him he's going to orchestrate everything on my behalf, because I feel we are making the best decision, not just for ourselves, but for our community, for our family, for our friends, that we can be better Gil and Renee for those who we are coming in contact with. And this is just one of the parts that goes along with it.
Yeah, and one of the things I can say, I did a video yesterday about grief or regret. One of the things that you and I are committed to, we realize that sometimes you're so busy working that you don't take advantage of or benefit from where you live. And we really are committed to making the effort to do the things that are in your city, because so many people live in really cool places and they never go to a museum, or they never go to a show, or they never go to a concert.
Be a tourist in
Yes.
your own area.
Yes.
If you live in an awesome city, take advantage of it. Act like a tourist.
Yeah,
You have an advantage because you know where the cool stuff is already located.
yeah.
So then go participate, go check it out. If you've never been to certain areas, go check them out.
Yeah. So if there's things in San Antonio that you guys are interested in,
Let us
that you're
know.
like, hey, I want to see what this is like, let us know,
'Cause
and
we'll
we will
go
go and we
on
will
your
share
behalf.
with you guys. Because everyone is in a different stage of life. You may be in a stage of life where you can't travel right now. Well, we will vicariously take you with us.
At least in San Antonio area.
Yeah. And when we travel to other places too.
Yeah. So right now, this is what we're doing, and this is where we're at. So we wanted to just spend a little bit of time coming online and just meeting with you guys still
Telling
on
you
our
we love
Friday,
you.
and just letting you know that changes are happening, and we will still be as committed as much as possibly as we can.
Yeah.
With
And a
this
part
new
of it
chapter.
is sharing with you all, because I actually and I'm going to put this in this video, and so when I put it up on Sunday, I'm going to show some B-roll of what Richie looks like. Because how many of you have been always wanted an RV, wanted to live in an RV, wanted to see what an RV was like? We're going to show that. Put that in the chat too if you're interested in it. And also I want to say, guess what, y'all? Y'all are the best community on the planet. We have reached 3,000 subscribers.
That's awesome.
I was like, oh my gosh, Gil, that is so awesome. So give you guys yourself a pat on the back. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are so excited and grateful to serve you. Please continue to watch the content, share the content. There's lots of stuff out there. Sometimes we get a lot of questions, and a lot of times I respond to the question by, we have a video on that, you know. Or if there's other things that we're talking about, questions you have, topics you want to talk about, please, we want to share with you what we're going through in our life and help you overcome some of the pitfalls that couples fall into. Because a lot of people say, oh my gosh, I could never leave where I grew up, and I could never leave my house, and I could never leave all of my friends. Well, I think a lot of times God has given you everything pertaining to life and godliness, and He knew who I was when He called me. And so you're wired for a certain path, and don't compare yourself to someone else's path. You have to be uniquely you, and understand that there's going to be times in your life when God does challenge, and He does test, and He does, you know, push you out of your comfort zone. And so just be open to that, because I'm so proud of Gil, because he could have just skated through his career and just collected a paycheck and not really done any more work. But that's not who he is. And so to me, when you have someone who wants to grow, who wants to thrive, who wants to go beyond where they are, how could you not support that?
You know, and I wanted to say, I thank God for my wife, because not only does she support in the decisions, this is probably one of the most positive people I know. Even in adverse situations and circumstances, she will still try to see the best in every circumstance and every situation. Even when the check engine light in Reggie came on the other day, and we got to take this vehicle to the dealer tomorrow to get it checked out, because it's a little bit more challenging, because this is our house.
Yeah.
So we can't be without our house. So you can tell that was a stressful moment for me, and it's still stressful until I
It's
found out what's going.
baby.
Oh no, it doesn't feel okay. You know, like, oh Lord, we've been pushing Richie so hard, y'all, and he
it sounded like he was having an asthma attack.
Oh my
y'all.
gosh,
he was like, oh no, it's too hot.
So pray for us, and please pray for us, because we got to take this vehicle to the dealer tomorrow, and we need this to be a minor issue, that it can be fixed and corrected, really simple, because we can't be without it. Because if not, guess what, y'all? New chapter, new adventure. We'll figure something out along the way.
And I think a part of it is understanding that God moves in the spontaneous. God moves in the unexpected.
I don't like our spontaneous. I don't like unexpected.
I know you don't. But I think a part of it is understanding, because I was talking to Blanche today, and we were talking about, I understand that God has proven himself to me over and over and over and over and over again. And so everything isn't always going to go as planned, but God is still good. He still loves me. He has a plan for my life. He has a plan for our life. And I can always say that no matter what has ever happened, my mindset is always, it could always be worse, and it will get better. It will get better. And so understanding that, you know, difficulties, check engine lights, wild cards are a part of life.
You know, and I believe everything that Renee just said. In my relationship with the Lord, I know I trust him, but my normal personality, this is where a struggle comes in for me. I know my normal personality is, like I mentioned, wants to know what's coming up and what's going on, and that's where the trust comes in, not only in your relationship, like my relationship with Renee, but even my relationship with God, that I have to trust that he's going to work things all out for my good. It's not just a scripture, it's something that you have to hold on to when those challenges and those tests come and those wild cards come, that you have to say, okay, I had to have a worship moment the other morning, because I was my stress level was like, but on the top of that, I still had to say, you know what, I trust God.
Okay, so pause right there.
Yes.
So when you said you had to have a worship moment, explain what that means.
When you are in a situation where it is bigger than you, it is beyond your capability to deal with, and you feel like, I don't know what I'm going to do, I don't know what to do, I'm just frustrated, that's when you have to forget about yourself and focus on something else. And if I choose to, and it has always been a great relief for me, is to put my trust and my focus in worshiping the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, because I know I'm his son and he has my best interest at heart. And that's my time to say, you know what, I don't know what's going on, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know you're going to work things out for my good towards this, because I believe that we are doing this towards the betterment and the call that you told us to do in this whole decision, in this whole move. So therefore I'm going to focus on that.
Yes.
Not the check engine light, not trying to find a place to live, not 100+ degrees for the next 10 days, not, we still got housing to sell and stuff to move and all, because you can have a laundry list of things that you got to do and things that are affecting you. Well, I know things will work out.
Right.
It may not work out in the way that I want them to,
or when you want
or
it
when
to.
I want
or
them
how
to
you
do,
want it to.
or how I want them to. But I have to know that I'm walking on this path that I believe that I've been called to do. So therefore, it's going to be some tests and some trials. We always want the victories and the praise reports and the good things to happen.
We want a test with no testimony.
So that means you're going to have to go through some stuff to say, you know what, this is what God did for me and he can do it for you. But guess what? You have to go through it to be able to talk about it. Right.
And a part of it is something as simple as cutting on a praise and worship song, cutting the lights out, closing your eyes, and just saying, you know what, Lord, of all the things I could be doing right now, I am going to stop and pause, and I'm going to just sing this song, and it's going to calm me down, and it's going to help me to keep my mind, it's going to help me to calm down, because relaxing and quieting yourself down and praying and worshiping lowers your anxiety and lowers your stress. And so don't be afraid to physically, because we pray all the time, but in times like this, I want you to hear me praying. I want him to hear me saying, Lord, thank you that my husband is your son and you love him. Because as a wife, we know what our spouse struggles with. And whenever things are going on, I know how the enemy tries to attack the little boy, his past. And so we have to be able to speak to each other's difficulties so that doesn't become another issue. Because we kind of talked a little bit about it last week, about how basically your childhood can affect you in your present. And I kind of said I was going to share what it was. Something that Gil shared with me that I was like, oh, babe, I didn't know that. Now, my parents were on and off drugs most of my life. So most of my life, I was homeless. They didn't call it that then. I didn't know anything about, I was homeless, but I didn't know it. But Gil shared with me that one of the reasons why he was concerned about selling before we purchased was because, he said one of my biggest fears as a little boy was to be homeless.
And I said that not because, I've never been homeless. I've always had a roof over my head. My mom did an amazing job of doing that and providing for me and my sister, my brother. I've never had the experience, but it was always something that I felt looming down the road. It never happened. Have you ever had a fear that has never happened to you, but that you feared that would happen?
Job said it, the thing I feared the most
has come upon me. So therefore, that is what I was fearing. And still to this day, and when it's not just me, because guess what, y'all? I'll sleep in my car if I have to. But when you have other people that depend and rely on you, you don't have that luxury. And so therefore, you have to think about the entirety of all the things, like I mentioned about when you make choices and decisions, they affect other people. Right. That's what I'm thinking about.
And so that was a blessing to me for him to share that. And it helped me to understand that the little boy and the little girl are on this journey with you, and you have to be mindful not just of the man but the little boy, and he has to be mindful of not just the woman but the little girl. And so that's why when I said there's 5 of us on this journey, it's God, me as a woman, me as a little girl, Gil as a little boy, Gil as a man. And that's a part of the dynamics of a relationship. And if you don't know that, you can be doing damage to a part of the journey and making it harder. Because one of the things I can say is, it's so easy to flippantly say something when you're tired or when you're hot or when you're frustrated, but the damage is done. And so it's in times I think that you really find out who you are in your marriage and your relationship when things are difficult.
So just like we always do, we try to leave you with some call to actions. And as we've been talking, some things that have come to mind as I'm playing Monday morning quarterback right now. So I would say a call to action that if you're going through a major change, whatever that may be, whatever you may be experiencing, step number 1, trust God.
Yeah.
If you felt you making a choice and a decision with the right motives, and you believe that God has called you to do it, whether you follow God or not, decisions and choices that you make, we believe that are orchestrated by Him.
I'm going to help you. One of the guidelines for you to know if it's you or God. If it only serves you and only benefits you, and you're the only first person that gains from it, that's not God. That's you.
Right.
But when God calls you to do something, it's going to benefit you, the
others.
Kingdom, others, and it's going to make you a little bit uncomfortable.
So trust God.
Yes.
And then number 2 is rely on others.
Yeah.
My wife, my former teammates on my other team,
Our
friends.
neighbors.
We had a major issue that happened this week. I needed a document that I in all this move, after driving 800 or actually 1,000 plus miles in this move, I forgot a document that I need to sign into my new job, and I was again wild card. And thankfully, we have enough support systems around us that we can rely and call on someone else to carry that load and to do some things for you that is going to do and alleviate the problem.
But you got to be willing to humble yourself and say,
I need help.
I need help.
So don't be afraid to rely on others and your support network and your support system to help you get through the trying, challenging times and choices and decisions that you're making.
And rely on each other.
Yep.
Because right now we're in 120. We can't get no closer than this. But being in a small space and being close does not mean that you're aligned. And I noticed that, like, even in the RV, we don't trip over each other because Gil moves out of the way, and so I love it because it's like a dance. And so we're weirdos, and we know that.
But we can't dance.
Yeah, but we can't dance.
But we
realize that a part of it is it's all about your perspective and your attitude, and it's your disposition, it's your perspective. Because I would not want to be doing this and living my life with anybody other than him, because we really have learned to respect and value each other. And so even in a space this small, we still can give each other space and we still could be close. And I love that.
So we thank you guys for watching. We just want to come on for a little bit of time. I know we didn't go our long normal time hour because it's been a long 6 days so far. And it's still, we haven't even been here 7 days. This is 6 days.
Yes.
So we are actually here and we're safe. For those who knew we were traveling, yes, we're here. We're good. Yes. Right now, it's a little hot.
And if you know anybody who has like some insights on areas with land in San Antonio that have good schools,
put it in the chat.
Put it in the chat
because y'all can help us. This is the step 2 of that action. We're relying on support. Yes. So anybody that knows that can help us, we are definitely thankful and grateful to you guys.
Yeah.
If you know good mechanics in the area, you're gonna need them. We may need them. So please let us know. Put it in the chat or reach out to us. You can always reach out.
And guess what, y'all? We don't have an address, but we have a church. We went back to our old church, Community Bible Church, and it was so refreshing and such a blessing to see how much it's grown and it's gotten even better.
It's like 2.0 again. Even some of the old things that you thought were going to be the same have changed.
They're better.
That's better. That's good. That's growth. So we found a church before we found a church home before we found a physical home. So I'm pretty sure that's good. That's a good start.
Yes, it is. So we love you guys. So if you have questions, if you guys have topics you want us to talk about, please put it in the comments. We appreciate and we read all of you guys' comments. We love you. We appreciate you. We're so grateful for being able to serve you guys in this capacity. And we're going to take you on this journey with us. I had a procedure done today. I'm going to share that too.
Wild card.
Yeah, I'm going to share that too.
If you're in the San Antonio area and you want to meet up, we are definitely open to do that.
That would be fun.
Let us know. We will try to orchestrate and come up with some time to connect. So please let us know. And you can always reach out to us, Rich Relationship Refuge, Gil and Renee. And we thank you guys for hanging out with us. It's hot, y'all.
We're about to eat. We're hungry. We love y'all. And we'll see you guys next Friday. And throughout the week again, thank you. Y'all are amazing. We love you. And we hope you guys have a great week again. If you have questions or comments, please leave it in the chat. Leave it in the comments. If you watch this video later on, thank you. And we love you. If you're a new subscriber, put in the feed, new subscriber, because we want to shout you out. We love you and thank you so much. You guys are the best.
Remember, we're stronger together.
And you are more than enough.
Let's grow.